All right, some news. Notes, the big news, the big news. The big depressing news from Jason. Mark Ingram, shoulder surgery. Came out, what is it, torn rotator cuff, injured reserve, ending the season, and there he goes. Wave goodbye.
Goodbye, Mark
Wave goodbye
Ingram.
if you can.
Lot of questions out there as to who is the guy you pick up. Who do you want? I'm going to be following this obviously very closely through the week, so you could check out my Twitter for different updates. As of this second, for me, I would prefer to have Hightower as the handcuff. We saw him used in that Kyrie Robinson role. And there's a lot of different reports coming out, right? So one is saying that there's going to be a three-headed committee. Now, that shouldn't be too scary because the truth is it has always been that three-headed. When Mark Ingram was there and Kyrie Robinson was healthy, Kyrie Robinson, I was frustrated as an Ingram owner. They used him a lot, and then C.J. Spiller still got, a little bit in. There's Nick Underhill. He covers the Saints for the New Orleans Advocate. He said that Sean Payton was talking about we get a chance to see more of Spiller, so that could be exciting for Spiller owners. For me, you've had a chance plenty of times. One of the biggest issues is they don't trust him in pass protection, so I'm not sure whether or not they're really going to let that fly. If you're in a PPR league, I would say maybe you give a little bit of love Spiller's way, but for me, I'm leaning more towards Hightower.
It's like the when the Titans we got to get David Cobb the ball a little bit more. Like, okay, so give him the ball.
You mean when they talk about it in the kind of like, well, I sure hope that we have a way to see Spiller this week.
There's just, we're the ones who control who gets the ball, but I'm just not sure we can figure it out.
Yeah, and in addition to that, they have said this about Spiller several times this year.
In his career.
I'm saying Sean Payton this year has said, we got to get that guy the ball more.
Something hasn't quite worked there. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Darrelle Revis is not practicing on Wednesday. Mike, do you expect him to play?
It's a long shot. It's a long shot, and that's very unfortunate for the Jets, who were shaping up to be a very solid. It was
the most selfish I've ever done on the show. Yeah. Completely has nothing to do with other owners, just me, because I'm playing you, which is ridiculous. So, all right, the Raiders have signed Michael Crabtree to a 4-year extension.
Got paid.
He got paid.
He
played. He's been playing great, and now you kind of see kind of a trifecta between Carr and Cooper and Crabtree for the 3 C's for the years to come. So good for Michael Crabtree.
It's good for the Raiders.
Yeah, and I guess it also puts him into some dynasty keeper context for people that know where he'll be next year.
And then next year, when Clive Walford breaks out,
he might.
You get the 4 C's.
They just need 3 more.
How is that the 4 C's?
Clive.
Oh,
4 C's.
Yeah, you're good at letters.
It's the 4 seasons.
4 seasons?
I just took care of that. You're welcome.
It's all right. Matt Schaub expects to play Sunday. His mother is proud of him.
Good for you, Matt Schaub.
Crockett Gilmore did not practice on Wednesday. I don't know if there's confidence in Crockett Gilmore anymore.
They're out of tight ends. They're out of players in Baltimore.
Brutal. This week, they take on
Seattle.
The Seattle defense may just win you your week.
Yeah, that's very, very possible.
We got a bunch of other guys that didn't practice. Heath Miller didn't practice this week. C.J. Anderson didn't practice. Ronnie Hillman didn't practice. What do we think about those guys?
I think Anderson's going to miss. It sounds as if Hillman will play, but absolutely watch that. If he suddenly doesn't practice on Thursday, you better find a different option. You better pick up Juwan Thompson, who I think is a solid pickup besides, even if Hillman is to play, with expecting Anderson to miss.
Robert Quinn, season-ending injured reserve, not coming back to that Rams defense. They haven't been the same without him and Chris Long by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, they hit our waiver wire yesterday, and I don't think they're going to land on any rosters.
I kept holding on to him, thinking they were going to turn around. And then
you see that news. And
yeah.
All right, Tyler Eifert, we expect him to play in Week 14.
That's good.
That's big news.
It's big news for Andy Dalton that you got to take a little hit to A.J. Green, unfortunately, because he was getting those nice red zone looks.
And then what do we think about the platoon in the backfield right now for Andy Reid and the Chiefs, Spencer Ware, Charkandrick West? What are we expecting this week? Because a lot of people want to know, hey, most of the questions that I have is not, hey, do I start Spencer Ware? Right. It's more like, hey, do I start Darren McFadden or do I start Charkandrick West against the Chargers?
In that situation, I would start Darren McFadden for volume. I do think that West will pick up his his percentage of the timeshare. He was just coming off that hamstring injury, which clearly was a somewhat nasty hamstring since he had to miss essentially a game and a half with the injury. So I look for West to get more involved. I'm going with West.